Now, keto diet is supposed to help you with reducing your calorie intake because you are removing a whole food group from your diet. Boom! What's going on, guys? My name is Tom, and I'm going to be talking about why you aren't losing weight on the keto diet. So when it comes to the keto diet, people think that you're going to lose weight magically by utilizing the keto diet. And the truth is, you do lose a lot of weight from the keto diet, or you're supposed to, or you're not really supposed to, but it will help you control your appetite and reduce your calorie intake, because a lot of people who tend to overeat eat on carbohydrate type foods, right? So all the essentially junk foods, the pastries, the cookies, uh, the stuff like that, the bread, the pastas, they indulge on these type of foods, and they somehow found the keto diet approach and they're utilizing it. And if you're that person who can't lose weight and using the keto diet at the same time, then let me explain why. In this video, I'm going to explain how to do it properly, and even if it's beneficial for you to go about if you still have an eating problem, right? So yes, when you do remove carbohydrates from your diet, right, it will be easier to reduce your calorie intake right at the end of the day, because you're not striving for the junk foods anymore. And on a keto diet, you have to strictly focus on nothing but proteins and fats type of foods, right? So you're staying away from the pastas, the breads, the chips, the junk foods, essentially, right? And if you're noticing you're still gaining weight, the problem doesn't lie within the carbohydrates itself, right? It doesn't lie within. Now, that would be the issue, or that is part of the issue, the carbohydrates, but it's not the ultimate thing that will solve your problem, because you're still gaining the weight, right? So even though you remove the carbohydrates, why are you still gaining this weight? And you're thinking like the keto diet is supposed to be this magical type of a diet to help shred off body fat. And that is true. But if you have a eating problem, an overeating problem, right? An eating disorder, perhaps, right? You're going to gain weight no matter what type of diet you're on, because you're still overeating. Let me explain to you. Keto diet removes carbohydrates. It's a food group, just like proteins and fats, right? Proteins and fats are a different type of food groups than carbohydrates. It's easier to overconsume on carbohydrate food sources because it contains sugar, salt, and it's mostly tasty, right? Whereas proteins and fats, it's a little bit harder to make it tasty or very sugar-like type of a food, junk food, right? You don't really see junk foods from protein sources or fat sources. You really don't. Maybe fats, but protein sources, no. When you think of protein and fats, you think of chicken, steak, eggs, dairy products, fats, avocados, olive oil, and so on and so forth. So if you actually think about it, it is quite hard to overeat on those type of foods, the proteins and fat food groups, right? And when you utilize the keto diet, you remove the carbohydrate from your diet. Therefore, you remove the junk food aspect, but yet you're still gaining weight and not losing weight. And the problem lies within yourself. Well, it did in the first place, but now we truly know you expose more layers from within, and now you know you have a eating disorder, essentially, right? But I'm just gonna say overeating. Maybe I'm saying it in the wrong way, or people may take offense to that, but it's the truth. It's the reality. You're overeating, right? First and foremost, yes, you are overeating. Second, you're probably sedentary. And third, you're not being mindful or aware of what you are doing. A lot of people who aren't mindful or aware or realizing what they're doing tend to skip things, right? They will forget a lot of things. Oh, I ate that. Oh, that's right. I did have like 2 cans of soda with a bag of chips. Let's just say, for example, right? And a lot of people just also don't care. They're not mindful about their health at the end of the day. They're not aware of the consequences and so forth. So if you're one of those persons, or if you know that you have these tendencies, then you really need to fix yourself because you're running your body into a ditch, literally. The number one health epidemic in the United States is like obesity and just, you know, stuff like that, anything related to that nature. That's the epidemic that we have within the USA. So the eating habits is a big thing. Now keto diet is supposed to help you with reducing your calorie intake because you are removing a whole food group from your diet. But if you're still overeating and on the keto diet and gaining weight, it's the overeating aspect. Okay, you need to control how much you're eating, and to do this you need to be mindful and aware. So you need to realize how much you're eating at every single session, every single thing that you consume and drink. You need to be mindful, aware about it. Okay, for example, for breakfast, you're like, okay, I had a meal. Was that a big meal? Was that a small meal? Okay, if it was a big meal, are you gonna eat another big meal after that in a couple hours? I would say no. I would not recommend that because there's a lot of factors to factor in. Did you work out? Are you sedentary? Are you just sitting down? Are you on your bed? Are you on the couch watching TV? Are you sedentary? Are you active? Are you running around doing cardio? Are you weightlifting? Are you going to the gym? You know, all these things matter when it comes to how much calories you're burning, because if you're not burning calories, you're not going to burn weight off the body, right? Now exercise isn't needed per se to help with weight loss, but the ultimate goal is to reduce calorie intake, okay? And that's the keto diet. But we need to fix that overeating habit. So controlling your portions is a big thing. So as I was saying, if you had a big breakfast, I would recommend skipping or reducing the next meal portion, right? I want to say skip. That's a lot of people are like, I'm gonna be hungry. Okay, well, in that case, have a smaller portion meal next time, right? And be mindful and aware on how much liquids you're consuming with that. So if you're drinking juice, if you're drinking soda, so on and so forth, you need to be mindful and aware about that, right? And probably the best bet out of everything is to really track your calories, right? A lot of people, when they see food, they're like, yeah, I could control the portions, I could reduce the portions, I could take out, you know, certain things, I could reduce the size or whatever the case might be. But a lot of people, just don't want to put that energy in. You know, they just want to eat and just don't care about, you know, the consequences, essentially. But by watching this video, you are wanting to lose the weight because you're watching this video. So I'm trying to help you guys. Hopefully that makes sense. But you really need to be mindful and aware. I can't stress this enough. Like, bodybuilders do this day in, day out in order to maintain their physiques for, you know, months on, weeks on. I mean, it's very tedious, but we're not trying to go bodybuilder status. We're just we gotta stress the importance of how important it is to be mindful, aware of everything that you're doing, not just eating, but like the way you talk to people, the way you deal with things, and so on and so forth. There's just so many factors, you know. But back to the point, the ultimate way to ultimately lose weight and or gain weight and or, you know, all the above is to track your calories. Okay, track your calories. If you track your calories, guys, you don't need this keto diet that you're trying to utilize for weight loss. You don't need the keto diet. In fact, you don't need the keto diet at all in order to lose fat fast or dramatically, or to get in shape for like the next event or for the summer type of situations, right? Tracking your calories is very beneficial. I think I have a video on my channel somewhere, but basically, to summarize what tracking calories means, it means that you are tracking every single food item and drink, and you will calculate that throughout the day. And before that, you put on information within this app or website, right? And then it will give you a calorie goal, right? So if the goal is to lose weight, you will select lose weight, and then it will give you a calorie goal. Now everyone's different. You gotta fit around with it, but essentially, that's what you do. You stick to this calorie goal that they give you, and then you abide by that every single day, right? So let's say you're overweight at the moment and you're eating 2,000 calories, right? And by tracking your calories, it will give you a goal of 1,700 calories, let's just say, right? So the goal is to consume no more than 700 calories per day. By not going over 700 calories per day, your body has no choice but to lose its fat. No choice but to lose its fat, okay? And there you go. That's weight loss in a nutshell. That's how it works. That's how simple it works. But when people find out the keto diet and utilize it, yes, it's going to ramp up things a little bit more faster. It's a little bit more efficient, if you want to say that. It's a little bit more dramatic. It is a dramatic type of practice, because you are completely removing a food group, and not even mentioning that, your body enters ketosis, which utilizes its own body fat as fuel, resulting in weight loss, or it results in greater weight loss over time, if that makes sense. So it speeds up the weight loss because it's utilizing its own body fat, right? When you are not on the keto diet, your body utilizes the carbohydrates, the glycogen, and then right, because carbs is what gives us energy, right? It will burn through the carbohydrates, the glycogen, right, resulting in, yeah, calorie burn, but now you have to go a little bit further beyond that, right? A little bit more intense workouts, or whatever the case might be. If you're not using the keto diet, you got to burn through the glycogen, and then you got to burn through the fat storage right after that. So it's a little harder, or it takes a little bit more time, I should say, if you're not on the keto diet versus on the keto diet, right? Because when your body enters ketosis, it has no carbs to burn, right? It has no glycogen, it has no carbs. So the body is screaming for energy. Therefore, it's going to give up its own body fat as fuel, resulting in weight loss much greater than if you were to have glycogen or carbohydrates in your body. And yeah, so I know that sounded like a whole mess, but essentially using the keto diet will speed up the weight loss process. Without the keto diet, it will be a tad bit slow. TLDR version, okay? But hopefully this video made sense. To summarize, you're eating too much. You're eating too much calories at the end of the day. Doesn't matter if you're removing the food group or not. If you're overeating, you're overeating. And to lose the weight, you guys need to reduce your calorie intake, and you can do that by tracking your calories, or just being mindful and aware. If you're noticing you're overeating or whatever the case might be, stop it, refrain from it, fix yourself, be mindful, aware of the next time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe. Comment down below if you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns. Catch you next video.